Good morning, children. Today we are going to proceed our science session with your second chapter, Components of Food. Children, in our previous chapter we discussed about food, why do we eat food, definition of food and sources of food. In this chapter we are going to study about your components of food. Children, before going to this chapter, can you answer my question? What are nutrients? See children, food is made up of different components called nutrients. There are 5 types of nutrients found in our food. Carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and your minerals. First we'll go with your carbohydrates. The energy giving food we used to call it as carbohydrates. Yes children, carbohydrates are energy giving food. In your carbohydrates, there are 2 types. One is your sugar, other one is your starch. See, sugar is a simple form of your carbohydrates. And also you know, sugar gives quick source of energy. When we proceed with your starch, it is a complex carbohydrates. Why we are telling it is a complex form of carbohydrates? Because it is made up of several sugar particles and they are linked together. And also it provides energy over long period of time. The food which is enriched in your carbohydrates are rice, wheat, maize, bread and your potatoes. Children, next we'll proceed with your fat. See, even though the fat provides the additional energy to our body, the main function it keeps our body warm. Children, can you tell me how come the fats are keeping our body warm? Because when you consume the fat content food, what will happen the fats will be found below your skin and then it prevents heat from escaping our body, so that what happens, our body will become very warm. If you go with your fats, the fats are of 2 types. One is your saturated fat, the other one is your unsaturated fat. In your saturated fat like butter, cream, cheese and ghee, they are solid at your room temperature. When you go with your unsaturated fats like olive oil, groundnut oil, sesame oil and your mustard oil, they are mostly liquid at your room temperature. That's the difference between your saturated fat and your unsaturated fat. Children, when you are consuming too much of fat content food, what happens to your body? Yes, your body will become obesity. So that we are not supposed to consume too much of fat content food. Next, we'll go with your proteins. See children, when you compare with your other nutrients, the proteins are very important to our body. Why it is very important? Because it helps in muscle building. That is why we are telling proteins are body builders. And also it repairs the worn out body part. See children, proteins come from both plants and your animal source. The main source of your proteins are meat, egg, milk, nuts, pulses, beans and your cereals. Next, if you go with your carbohydrates, proteins and fat, in these 3 nutrients, we call it as a macronutrients. Why we are calling these 3 as a macronutrients? Because in our diet, we take large amount of nutrients like your carbohydrates, proteins and fats. We used to take large amount. That is why we are telling these 3 are your macronutrients. Next, we'll proceed with your vitamins and minerals. Vitamins helps in the normal growth and for maintaining the good health of our body. There are 13 known vitamins. See children, vitamins are classified into 2 types. One is your fat soluble vitamin, the other one is your water soluble vitamin. Example for your fat soluble vitamins are vitamin A, D, E and K. See, they remains as a fat in our body for a long time. And also they are used when the body requires them. On the other hand, when you go with your vitamin B complex like vitamin B1, B2 and B12 and your vitamin C, they are water soluble. and they will not store in our body. So that what we have to do, we have to regularly consume the vitamin, water soluble vitamin in our food. So the excessive amount of vitamins will be consumed and it excreted through urine. The vitamin enriched food are your carrots, green leaf vegetables, meat and egg. Next we'll go with your minerals. If you go with your minerals helps in the formation of bones and teeth and also regulating heartbeat. If you go with your minerals, there are two types of minerals. One is your macro mineral and the other one is your micro mineral. Macro mineral, it is needed in comparatively large quantity in our body. Example, calcium, phosphorus and magnesium. If you go with your micro minerals, it is in smaller quantity. Example, copper, chromium and selenium. Mineral enriched foods are your milk, curd, meat, beans and your green leafy vegetables. Next we'll proceed with your dietary fiber. See, dietary fiber food, it does not provide energy to us and also it is not considered as a nutrients. Then what is the use of dietary fiber, children? It is essential for our body as it is helpful in the prevention of your obesity and your constipation. The dietary enriched fiber foods are your fruits, vegetables, beans, pulses, potato with their skins. Next we'll go with your water. You all know that water is a universal solvent. It is vital for good health. For proper functioning of our body, we need right amount of water. See children, our body is made up of about 60 to 70% of water. What is the role of water in our body, children? Water, it dissolves the nutrients and it transports them to different parts of your body. And also the excess of water in our body is excreted as a urine and also as a sweating. Next, see, our World Health Organization, they are recommending us to consume around 1.5 liter of water a day, or else we have to take 2 to 3 liters of fluid every day to maintain our adequate supply. See, excess loss of water from our body leads to dehydration. For example, if the people are suffering from vomiting or excessive sweating or diarrhea, they will be suffering from your dehydration. So to treat them, we have to take oral rehydration therapy. That is your ORS. Next, we'll proceed with your balanced diet. Children, the food we usually eat, we call it as a diet. What is exactly is a balanced diet? A balanced diet is a diet that combines the adequate amount of different macronutrients along with your micronutrients and water to maintain a good health. Next, we'll proceed with your deficiency disease. Children, till now we studied about what are all the nutrients, what are all the importance of your nutrients. Now we are going to study about your deficiency disease. Can you tell me, children, what do you mean by a deficiency disease? See, the disease that are caused by a lack of adequate amount of nutrients in our diet are called your deficiency disease. First, we'll go with your deficiency of carbohydrates. Children, already we have learned that carbohydrates are energy giving food. So if there is a lack of carbohydrate in our food, what will happen? It leads to weakness and also it loses our stamina. So the carbohydrates deficiency are weakness and lack of stamina. Next we'll go with your deficiency due to proteins. Already we learned that proteins are your body builders. So if you are having deficiency in our diet, protein deficiency, what will happen? We will be suffering from two major diseases like Kwashiorkor and marasmus. If you go with your Kwashiorkor, the symptoms are irritability, diarrhea, swollen belly and slower than normal mental and physical growth. Next, if you go with your marasmus, the main symptoms are weak legs, slow body growth, lack of energy, mental retardation, loss of appetite and your poor muscle development. So these two diseases are collectively called as protein energy malnutrition, or we used to tell it as PEM. Next we'll go with your deficiency of vitamins. Children, when we are studying about vitamins, we studied that vitamins are of two types. One is your water soluble, the other one is your fat soluble. Yes. If you are suffering from your water soluble vitamins like vitamin B1, B2, B12 and vitamin C, we used to have the deficiency disease like beriberi, skin disorder, anemia and scurvy. When you go with your fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, E and K, we will be suffering from the deficiency disease like night blindness, ricket, nerve damage and hemorrhage. See, in this vitamin deficiency, if you go with your vitamin E and K, the deficiency is from heredity. It is an hereditary disease. It comes from your grandparents to your parents and to you. For example, the night blindness. Next, we'll go with your deficiency of minerals. Like your vitamins, the minerals also are of two types. One is your macro minerals, the other one is your micro minerals. Macro minerals like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, iron, phosphorus is very essential to our body. If you are having lack of minerals, macro minerals in our body, we will be suffering from constipation, abnormal heartbeat, then stunted growth, weak teeth and bones. Right. Next, if you are having the deficiency of micro minerals, we will be suffering from rickets, abnormalities in the human immune system, then we will be having anemia and retard growth. See children, in order to avoid the deficiency of vitamins and minerals, our government, they are providing the mid-meal scheme in all our government schools, so that they are providing the children and also they are encouraging the children to take admission in school, improving the school attendance and also they are preventing the malnutrition. Next, we'll go with the cooking of food. See, vegetables or fruits should not be washed after cutting or peeling. Otherwise, what will happen? The water soluble vitamins and minerals may get washed away with your water. And also children, we are not supposed to wash rice and pulses repeated. It also leads to the loss of vitamins and minerals. So we should eat raw fruits and vegetables to get vitamin C. Children, with this session, I will close today's session. Next, we'll go with your new chapter. Thank you. Jai Gurudev.